The first half of my talk was really going to be about what is bus rapid transit, and spend a few minutes on that, talk about some examples that other cities in the U.S. are exploring. BRT, we like to say there's about 4 major elements that make BRT, bus rapid transit, a little distinctive from normal buses that we ride every day. BRT actually delivers the reliability and speed of rail with the efficiency and cost of a bus. So hopefully that'll all become clear as we move through the rest of this. The first feature that BRT really needs to have is a dedicated bus lane, so that essentially it's like having a streetcar running through the center of the street, a dedicated lane. There's no other traffic. It's not fighting with cars, taxis, delivery trucks, other buses. So you can well imagine how that one single element alone really increases the speed and efficiency of the service. Whoops. The second element, let's go to the pay before you board stations. So much like when you take the train in Chicago today, you pay to get onto the platform. You pay at the bottom at the turnstiles, and you go up or down depending on the station, and you're standing on the platform. Everybody on the platform is already paid. The train pulls up. You all walk on together. You don't need to wait in line behind everybody swiping their fare card, which at a bus stop can take quite a long time. Signal prioritization or some kind of preferential treatment for the buses. And then the at-grade boarding and the stations themselves are really a key fixture of bus rapid transit. Having at-grade boarding where not only able-bodied folks who are just stepping onto the train can do that more easily and quickly, but certainly you can imagine the benefits for those who might have some challenges with walkers or canes or wheelchairs or parents with strollers. They can all board the bus a lot more quickly as well. So again, the speed of boarding onto the bus. Those elements, and there's some other bells and whistles that go along with bus rapid transit systems around the world, but those are kind of the 4 hallmark elements that distinguish a BRT from regular bus service. Late last year, the Metropolitan Planning Council put out another research piece. And we came up with what we titled Bus Rapid Transit, Chicago's New Route for Opportunity. And this, again, research document was really meant to look at where BRT was feasible in the city of Chicago, where it might have the greatest impact, and put forth a vision, and really to get the conversation started. Well, so right now what's being discussed in Chicago, there's about 3 BRT routes on the table. Not about, there are 3 BRT routes on the table. The first is this Jeffrey corridor, which starts down here and wiggles up. It connects to Lakeshore Drive, where it has then an express route, if you will, up to the loop. And then within the loop, kind of morphs into and joins an east-west corridor. So there's the Jeffrey corridor as standalone. The east-west corridor, which services Jeffrey, will also service other bus routes that run through downtown Chicago. But so that's one set of alignments. The other set of alignments, which was identified as ranking pretty high in our report as well, was something that's called the Western Corridor. The Western Corridor is both Western and Ashland Avenues. So these are, as you can see, and if you live in Chicago, run up and down the entire length of Chicago, connect to a lot of existing rail stations, advance a lot of those livability principles that I mentioned. So these are, the CTA is now embarking on what's called an alternatives analysis, basically some preliminary analysis to see, well, how could BRT work on here? What kinds of issues, major issues, would it come across? And tweaking some of the assumptions that we have to go into. Should we run it on the curb? Should we run it in the middle? Those sorts of things. This particular graphic just sort of shows this, again, graphically, the thickness of the line. Here's Western, Ashland, and 95th Street, and some of the other routes in our proposed network. The thickness of the line denotes the volume of rides in the morning. So where the line is very thick, right here, say example on Western Avenue, a lot of demand in the morning to ride on Western Avenue at that point. And that happens to be going northbound. So this gives you a real good sense that, wow, there's a lot of demand for some new transit service in these corridors, particularly if we can do something that's speedy and efficient and reliable and people can count on it. So I think the focus now on this next development of this next route for BRT is well placed because some of the modeling, again, is borne out that this is an important place to look.